The Luna's Reckoning, Complete Story. A tale of betrayal, transformation, and revenge. The betrayal. From Luna to outcast, the night everything shattered. The Luna who had everything. My name is Alara, and I used to believe in fairy tales. I believed that love conquered all, that loyalty meant something, and that if you gave your whole heart to your pack, they would protect yours in return. I was the Luna of the Shadow Moon pack, and for 5 beautiful years, I thought I was living my dream. The morning of our anniversary started like any perfect day. I woke before dawn, as I always did, to walk through our territory and check on pack members. Old Margaret's arthritis needed my healing touch. The Thompson twins were recovering from their first shift, and I wanted to make sure they were adjusting well. Being Luna wasn't just a title to me. It was my purpose, my calling, my entire world. Marcus, my husband and our alpha, was still sleeping when I left. His dark hair spread across the pillow, his strong face peaceful in rest. I remembered kissing his forehead gently, whispering that I loved him. He didn't stir. I should have known then. Should have seen the signs. But love makes you blind, doesn't it? The perfect life built on lies. For 5 years, I had poured everything into being the perfect Luna. I learned every pack member's name, their children's names, their struggles and dreams. I used my healing gift to mend broken bones, cure illnesses, and ease the pain of difficult shifts. I organized festivals, mediated disputes, and stood beside Marcus as he led our pack to prosperity. Or so I thought. The Shadow Moon pack had grown strong under our leadership. Our territory expanded. Our alliances multiplied. Other packs respected us, feared us even. And I believed it was because Marcus and I were a perfect team, 2 halves of one powerful whole. I spent that anniversary morning preparing a surprise. I'd been planning it for months, a private dinner in his office, just the 2 of us before the evening's pack celebration. I'd cooked his favorite meal myself, arranged candles, even found a rare bottle of wine from the year we met. I wanted everything to be perfect. I should have announced myself when I reached his office. Should have knocked. But it was our anniversary, and I wanted to surprise him. The door was slightly open, and I could hear voices inside, Marcus's deep rumble and another voice, lighter, feminine, laughing. My heart swelled with joy. Maybe he'd been planning his own surprise, and one of the pack women was helping him. How sweet. I pushed the door open with my shoulder, my hands full with the dinner basket. I hope I'm not interrupting. The words died in my throat. The moment everything shattered. Marcus had Vivian pressed against his desk, his hands tangled in her golden hair, his mouth on hers with a passion I hadn't seen from him in years. Maybe ever. They were so lost in each other that they didn't even hear me enter. Vivian. My best friend since childhood. The woman who'd stood beside me at my Luna ceremony. The woman I'd confided in about everything, my fears, my hopes, my struggles. The woman who'd held me while I cried over the fact that Marcus and I hadn't been able to conceive. The basket fell from my hands. The sound of shattering glass finally made them break apart. Marcus's eyes met mine. For just a moment, I saw something flicker there, guilt, maybe, or fear. But then it hardened into something cold and cruel that I'd never seen before. Alara. His voice was flat, emotionless. We need to talk. Talk? The word came out as a whisper. My whole world was spinning. Marcus, what is this? Vivian stepped away from him, smoothing down her dress. And then she smiled. Actually smiled. Oh, Alara. Sweet, naive Alara. Did you really think he loved you? The pain in my chest was physical, like someone had reached inside and squeezed my heart. Marcus, please. Tell me there's an explanation. He straightened his shirt, his face a mask of indifference. There's an explanation. I don't love you. I never did. You were a means to an end. 5 years, I choked out. 5 years of marriage. Of building this pact together. Of you being useful, he interrupted. Your healing gift was valuable. Your connection to the pack members made them loyal. Your gentle nature made them trust me more. You were perfect for what I needed. Vivian laughed, a sound like breaking glass. And you were so easy to manipulate. All those times I listened to you complain about Marcus being distant, about him working late. He was with me, Alara. He's been with me for 3 years. 3 years. Half of our marriage. I felt like I was drowning. But why? I looked at Marcus, desperately searching for the man I thought I'd married. If you didn't love me, why go through with it? Why keep me here? Because my father's will required it. His voice was matter of fact, like we were discussing pack business. To become alpha, I needed to take a Luna within a year of his death. You were convenient, powerful enough to be respected, weak enough to be controlled. And your healing gift made the pack prosperous, which made me look good. The public execution. Tonight's celebration, Marcus continued, checking his watch. It's not just our anniversary party. I'm announcing your replacement. Replacement? I could barely form words through the shock. Vivian's hand went to her stomach, her smile widening. I'm pregnant, Alara. With Marcus's child. The heir you could never give him. The words were designed to cut, and they did. It was true that we'd never conceived. I'd thought it was just bad timing, stress from our duties. But now I wondered if Marcus had even been trying. The pack needs a fertile Luna, Marcus said coldly. You failed in that duty. So tonight, I'm rejecting you publicly and taking Vivian as my mate and Luna. You can't. My voice was stronger now, anger beginning to burn through the shock. The pack bond, the Luna ceremony, you can't just break those ties without cause. That's where you're wrong. He pulled out a document from his desk. I have cause. Multiple pack members have signed statements about your instability. Your emotional outbursts. Your inability to produce an heir. Your neglect of Luna duties. That's a lie. I took a step forward. I've done everything for this pack. I've given them everything. And they'll believe me over you, Marcus said simply. Because I'm their alpha, and you're about to be nothing. The evening celebration was already underway when Marcus dragged me into the great hall. The entire pack was there, hundreds of wolves, all dressed in their finest clothes, all expecting to celebrate their Alpha and Luna's 5-year anniversary. Instead, they got a public execution. The rejection ceremony. Marcus didn't waste time. He pulled me to the center of the hall, and the music stopped. The crowd fell silent, sensing something was wrong. My pack, Marcus's voice rang out, strong and confident. I've called you here tonight not to celebrate, but to witness a necessary change in our leadership. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I saw confusion on familiar faces, concern in the eyes of pack members I'd healed, helped, loved. Our Luna has failed in her most important duty, Marcus continued. For 5 years, she has been unable to provide an heir. For 5 years, she has been weak where we needed strength, soft where we needed steel. She has neglected her responsibilities, chosen favoritism over fairness, and allowed her emotions to cloud her judgment. That's not true. I shouted, but Marcus's hand tightened painfully on my arm. I have witnessed statements from pack members detailing her failures. He held up the falsified documents. And most importantly, she has proven herself unworthy of the Luna title by her inability to continue our bloodline. The crowd was shifting now, uncertain. I saw some nodding, believing his lies. Others looked uncomfortable but said nothing. Then Vivian stepped forward, her hand on her stomach. I'm sorry, Alara, she said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. But the pack deserves a Luna who can give them a future. Marcus and I are expecting a child. The gasps from the crowd were like knives. I saw the judgment in their eyes, the disappointment, the betrayal. They believed it. they believed I'd failed them. No, I whispered, looking around at faces that had been friendly just hours ago. Please, you know me. You know I've done everything for this pack. But Marcus was already speaking the words of rejection, the ancient ritual that would sever our mate bond and strip away my Luna powers. I, Marcus Thornheart, Alpha of the Shadow Moon Pack, reject you, Alara Night Whisper, as my mate and Luna. I sever our bond, revoke your title, and cast you out from this pack. The pain was immediate and excruciating. It felt like my soul was being torn apart, like everything I was being ripped away piece by piece. My healing gift, my connection to the pack, my sense of belonging, all of it was being stripped away by the ancient magic of the rejection ritual. I fell to my knees, screaming. The pack bond that had connected me to every wolf in the room snapped, leaving me empty and alone. My power drained away like water through a sieve. Through the pain, I heard Marcus's final words, "You are no longer pack. You are no longer Luna. You are nothing. And by the laws of our ancestors, you are exiled from Shadow Moon territory. If you return, you will be killed on sight. Cast into darkness." They dragged me out that night, still weak from the rejection ritual. No one helped me. No one spoke up for me. The pack members I'd healed, comforted, and loved just watched as I was thrown out of my own home like garbage. They took me to the edge of the Forbidden Woods, a place where exiled wolves were sent to die. The forest was cursed, they said. Filled with rogue wolves, dangerous creatures, and old magic that twisted the mind. Please, I begged the guards who dragged me there, wolves I'd known for years. Please, at least let me take some supplies. Some clothes. They laughed and left me there in nothing but the dress I'd worn to what was supposed to be my anniversary celebration. A dress now torn and stained with my own blood from the rough journey. As I watched them disappear back toward Packlands, I felt the full weight of my new reality. I had nothing. No home, no pack, no power, no friends, no mate. Everything I'd worked for, everything I'd believed in, was gone. The cold night air bit into my skin. My body was still weak from the rejection, my wolf completely silent inside me, maybe dead, maybe just broken. I didn't know which was worse. I stumbled into the Forbidden Woods because I had nowhere else to go. The trees seemed to close in around me, dark and menacing. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow could be death coming for me. I don't know how long I walked. Hours, maybe. My feet were bleeding, my dress torn by thorns and branches. I was so cold I couldn't feel my fingers anymore. So tired I could barely stand. Finally, I collapsed beside a frozen stream. My reflection in the ice showed me what I'd become, a broken, powerless shell of the Luna I used to be. Maybe it's better this way, I whispered to my reflection. Maybe I should just let the cold take me. Let this all end. As my eyes began to close, as hypothermia started to drag me under, I saw something in the darkness. A figure, watching me from the trees. Glowing amber eyes that seemed to see straight through me. Then everything went black. My last thought before unconsciousness claimed me was simple, I hope I never wake up. But fate, it seemed, had other plans for me. Because broken things either shatter completely or transform into something stronger. And my transformation was just beginning. Part 2, The Transformation, 2000 words. Rising from the ruins, the making of a queen. Awakening in the sanctuary. I woke to warmth. That was the first surprise. I should have been dead, frozen in the Forbidden Woods. Instead, I was lying on soft furs, wrapped in blankets beside a crackling fire. My wounds had been cleaned and bandaged. Someone had saved me. Don't try to move too quickly, a deep voice said from the shadows. You've been unconscious for 3 days. I struggled to sit up, my body protesting every movement. The rejection wounds were still healing, and my wolf was still eerily silent inside me. Where am I? Who are you? A man stepped into the firelight, and my breath caught. He was tall and powerfully built, with dark hair that fell past his shoulders and eyes that glowed amber in the firelight. Scars marked his face and arms, the kind of scars that spoke of battles survived and pain endured. He radiated power, the kind that made every instinct scream that this was an alpha. But there was something else too. A sadness in those amber eyes, a weight of grief and loss that I recognized because I felt it in my own soul. "I'm Kale," he said simply. "And you're in Nightfall Sanctuary. A place for wolves who have nowhere else to go." Nightfall Sanctuary? I'd never heard of it. Most haven't. We prefer it that way. He handed me a cup of warm broth. "This is a refuge for exiled wolves, for those betrayed by their packs, for the broken and the lost. We're the wolves that the kingdoms would rather forget exist." I took the cup with shaking hands. "How many are here?" 43 now. 44 with you." He sat down across from me, his movements careful and controlled. "We're all refugees from pack politics, from cruelty, from betrayal. This mountain has been our sanctuary for nearly a decade." As my eyes adjusted to the dim light, I began to see more of where I was. We were in a massive cave system that had been transformed into living quarters. Tunnels led off in different directions, and I could hear the distant sounds of people moving about, talking quietly. "Why did you save me?" I asked. "You don't know me." Kale's eyes held mine. "Because 10 years ago, I was lying in those same woods, dying from my own rejection wounds. Someone saved me then, gave me a second chance. I've been paying that forward ever since." Learning the truth about Kale. Over the next few days, as my body slowly healed, I learned Kale's story. It was painfully similar to mine. He had been an alpha king, ruling over one of the largest packs in the Northern Territories. Powerful, respected, loved by his people. He had a mate, a Luna named Sarah, and together they had built their pack into something prosperous and strong. But Sarah had been ambitious. She wanted more power, more territory. And when Kale refused to wage war on neighboring packs, she found someone who would, his own brother. The betrayal had been brutal. Sarah and his brother had poisoned Kale, making him appear weak and unstable to the pack. They'd spread lies about his leadership, turned his most trusted warriors against him. And when he was at his weakest, they'd staged a challenge for leadership that he couldn't win. "They rejected me in front of the entire pack," Kale said quietly one evening as we sat by the fire. "My mate, my brother, and my own pack. They stripped my title, my power, everything. And they would have killed me, but I escaped into these woods." "How did you survive?" I asked, seeing my own pain reflected in his eyes. "By deciding that their betrayal wouldn't be the end of my story." His jaw tightened. "By choosing to become something stronger than what they broke. And by finding others like me who deserved a second chance." I looked around the sanctuary, seeing it with new eyes. This wasn't just a refuge. It was a rebellion. A place where the unwanted and discarded could become powerful again. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. Kale leaned forward, his amber eyes intense. "Because I see the same choice in front of you that I faced. You can lie down and die, let their betrayal define you. Or you can stand up and become something they never expected. Something they'll regret creating." "I don't have power anymore," I whispered. "The rejection ritual stripped everything away. My wolf is silent. My healing gift is gone. I'm nothing." "That's what they want you to believe." Kale's voice was fierce. "But the rejection ritual doesn't destroy power. It just locks it away, deep inside where you have to fight to reclaim it. Your wolf isn't dead. She's waiting for you to be strong enough to reach her again. The brutal training begins." The next morning, Kale woke me before dawn. "Get up. Your training starts now." "Training?" I was still weak, my body barely recovered. "You want to be strong enough to face them again?" His voice was hard. "Then you need to earn it. No one here gets a free ride." Everyone contributes, everyone trains, everyone grows stronger together. That includes you. The training was brutal. Kale pushed me beyond what I thought were my limits. Running up mountain paths until my lungs burned. Combat training that left me bruised and exhausted. Strategy lessons that made my head spin. He was merciless, demanding, never accepting excuses. Again, he would shout when I collapsed during a sparring session. Do you think Marcus will give you a break when you face him? Do you think Vivian will show mercy? Get up. I hated him some days. Hated how hard he pushed, how little sympathy he showed for my pain. But slowly, painfully, I began to change. My body grew stronger, more agile. My mind became sharper, more strategic. And deep inside, I began to feel something stirring, my wolf, awakening from her forced slumber. The other wolves in the sanctuary became my family. There was Elena, a former beta female who'd been cast out when she refused to participate in her alpha's corrupt schemes. Marcus, a young wolf who'd been exiled simply for being born to the wrong family. Vera, an elder whose healing knowledge rivaled what mine used to be. They all had stories of betrayal, of loss, of pain. But they also had something I'd lost, hope. They believed in building something better, in becoming stronger than those who'd hurt them. The packs think they can throw us away, Elena told me one night as we cleaned weapons. They think exiling us makes us disappear. But we're building something here. Something that could change everything. Unlocking ancient power. 3 months into my training, something extraordinary happened. Kale had taken me deep into the mountain, to a chamber I'd never seen before. It was filled with ancient carvings, symbols that seemed to glow with their own light. This is a sacred place, Kale explained. Before the packs divided into kingdoms, before alphas ruled with iron fists, the wolves were different. They understood that true power doesn't come from domination. It comes from balance, from connection to the old magic. What does this have to do with me? I asked, running my fingers over the carvings. Your healing gift wasn't common pack magic. It was something older, deeper. Luna magic, from the first female wolves who learned to channel the moon's power. He turned to face me. The rejection ritual locked it away, but it's still there. And in this place, with the right guidance, you can reclaim it. But it won't be the same gentle healing power you had before. What will it be? Something fiercer. Something that can create and destroy. Luna magic in its pure form doesn't just heal, it transforms, judges, protects. It's warrior magic, Alara. Are you ready to claim it? I thought about Marcus's cruelty, Vivian's betrayal, the pack that had turned its back on me. I thought about the broken girl I'd been and the woman I was becoming. Yes, I said firmly. Show me. The ritual Kale guided me through was painful and transcendent. I had to face every moment of my betrayal, relive every hurt, acknowledge every wound. But instead of letting the pain break me, I transformed it into fuel. I called to my wolf not with gentle pleading but with fierce demand. And she answered. My wolf burst forth from where she'd been buried, and she was different now. Larger, stronger, her fur shimmering with silver light. The Luna magic surged through me, not gentle and healing but powerful and wild. I could feel the old magic singing in my bones, ancient and unstoppable. When I shifted back to human form, I was glowing. Literally glowing with silver light that slowly faded to reveal a changed woman. My hair had lightened to a silvery blonde. My eyes, once soft brown, now held flecks of silver and blue. Even my presence felt different, stronger, more commanding. Kale was watching me with something like awe. You're not just a Luna anymore. You're something the old stories talked about. A moon blessed. A Luna queen. The plan for justice. 6 months after my exile, I was no longer the broken woman Marcus had thrown away. I was a warrior, trained by one of the most powerful alphas in history. I had reclaimed my power and discovered it was far greater than anything I'd known before. I had a family of exiled wolves who would stand beside me. And I had a plan. "We've been gathering intelligence on Shadow Moon," Elena reported during our council meeting. "Marcus's rule has been brutal. He's raised taxes, forced pack members into dangerous work, and hoarded resources for himself and his inner circle." "And Vivian?" I asked, keeping my voice steady despite the rage that still burned when I thought of her. "Still playing Luna, but rumors say her pregnancy was false. She's not showing, and pack members are starting to question. Marcus has been increasingly violent to keep them in line." Vera added, "Your old pack is suffering, Elara. The people you healed, the families you helped, they're struggling under Marcus's tyranny. Many of them have expressed regret about what happened to you." "But not publicly," I said bitterly. "Fear is a powerful silencer," Kale said quietly. "But so is hope. If you return, not as the broken Luna they cast out, but as the powerful queen you've become, you give them something to rally behind." I looked around the table at the faces of my new pack, my chosen family. "This isn't just about revenge. If we do this, we do it right. We expose Marcus's corruption, free the pack from his tyranny, and offer sanctuary to anyone who wants to join us. We become the alternative to the cruel pack politics that created all of us." "Agreed," Kale said. "But make no mistake, Marcus won't give up power without a fight. You'll have to challenge him, defeat him in combat. Are you ready for that?" I thought about the gentle Luna I used to be, the woman who believed in kindness and compassion above all else. She was still part of me, but she'd been tempered by pain and forged into something stronger. "I'm ready," I said. "And I'm going to make him regret ever underestimating me." The Blood Moon Festival was approaching, the most sacred celebration in pack culture, when challenges for leadership were traditionally issued. It was the perfect time for my return. As I trained for the confrontation ahead, Kale worked beside me every day. Our relationship had evolved beyond teacher and student. He understood my pain because he'd lived it. He pushed me because he believed in what I could become. And slowly, carefully, something deeper was growing between us. "You'll win," he told me the night before we left for Shadow Moon. "Not because you're stronger than him, though you are. But because you're fighting for something real, justice, freedom, protection of the innocent. He's only fighting to keep power he never deserved." "Come with me?" I asked. "I know this is my fight, but..." "I'll be there," he promised. "All of us will. You're not alone anymore, Elara. You'll never be alone again." The eve of reckoning. The night before we left, I stood on the mountain overlooking the sanctuary that had become my home. 44 wolves who had been broken and discarded, now a fierce and loyal pack. We were going to war not for conquest, but for justice. I thought about the woman I'd been 6 months ago, naive, gentle, believing that love and loyalty were enough. Marcus had shattered that woman, destroyed everything she believed in. But from those ashes, something fiercer had risen. A Luna queen who understood that true strength meant protecting the weak, that real power came from lifting others up, not crushing them down. I would face Marcus, defeat him, and build something better from the ruins of his tyranny. "Tomorrow," I whispered to the night sky, "they'll learn what happens when you throw away something precious. Tomorrow, the broken Luna returns as a queen. And nothing will ever be the same." The moon above seemed to pulse with silver light, as if the goddess herself was answering. Yes, it seemed to say. "Tomorrow, you reclaim everything they stole. Tomorrow, you rise." Part 3, The Reckoning, 2000 words. Vengeance wears a crown, the Queen's return. The blood moon rises. The Blood Moon Festival was in full swing when we arrived at Shadow Moon territory. Music drifted through the night air, and the scent of roasted meat and sweet wine filled the forest. Pack members danced and celebrated, unaware that their world was about to change forever. Kale and I stood at the edge of the clearing, 42 warriors behind us, exiled wolves ready to stand for justice. I was dressed in fighting leathers, my silver blonde hair braided for battle, my eyes glowing with Luna magic. I looked nothing like the gentle, broken woman they'd cast out. Last chance to turn back, Kale murmured beside me, though his slight smile said he knew I wouldn't. I've come too far to turn back now. I straightened my shoulders. Let's give them a show they'll never forget. We walked into the festival clearing together. The music stopped first. Then the conversations died. One by one, pack members turned to stare at us, their faces shifting from confusion to shock to disbelief. I saw familiar faces in the crowd, wolves I'd healed, families I'd helped, people I'd considered friends. Some looked ashamed. Others looked afraid. All of them looked stunned. Then Marcus appeared, pushing through the crowd with Vivian at his side. He looked prosperous and powerful in his ceremonial robes, every inch the confident alpha. But when he saw me, something flickered in his eyes. Fear, quickly masked by anger. Elara. My name came out as a growl. You dare return here? You were exiled. The penalty for your return is death. I smiled, and it was not the gentle smile of the Luna they remembered. I'm not the same wolf you cast out, Marcus. And I'm here to invoke my right under the ancient laws, the right to challenge you for leadership of this pack. The challenge. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Vivian clutched Marcus's arm, her face pale. She can't do that. She's not even pack anymore. The ancient laws are clear, Kale's voice rang out, strong and authoritative. Any wolf with legitimate grievance against an alpha can issue a challenge during the Blood Moon Festival. Pack membership is irrelevant. The laws are older than your politics. Marcus's jaw clenched. Who the hell are you? Kale Stormborn, former Alpha King of the Northern Territories. Kale's voice was calm but carried an unmistakable weight of power. And I'm here to ensure this challenge follows the ancient protocols. Unless you're afraid to face the woman you betrayed? The crowd murmured. I could see Marcus calculating, trying to find a way out. But refusing a formal challenge during the Blood Moon Festival would make him look weak, possibly even illegitimate as an alpha. Fine, Marcus snarled. I accept your challenge. When I defeat you, your death will be a lesson to anyone who questions my authority. If you defeat me, I corrected. But we both know that's not going to happen. The challenge circle was formed quickly, ancient tradition demanded it. Pack members created a ring of stones and blessed it with wolf's bane and sacred herbs. Once inside, only the challenger and the challenged could enter. The fight would continue until one yielded, died, or left the circle. As I stepped toward the circle, I felt a hand on my arm. I turned to find old Margaret, the woman whose arthritis I used to heal, her weathered face filled with shame and regret. Luna, she whispered. I'm sorry. We all are. We should have stood by you. We should have known Marcus was lying. Fear makes cowards of us all, I said gently. But watch what happens next. And remember that you always have a choice. I entered the circle. Marcus entered from the opposite side. The moment we were both inside, the ancient magic activated. A shimmering barrier rose around us, sealing us in. The battle of truth. Before we fight, I called out, my voice carrying to every corner of the gathering, the pack deserves to know the truth about why I'm here. About what their alpha has really been doing. Lies. Marcus shouted. Don't listen to her. Then let the goddess judge. I raised my hands, and silver light blazed from my palms. This was part of the Luna magic I'd unlocked, the ability to compel truth, to make lies impossible within sacred space. I call upon the ancient laws, upon the goddess herself. Let no falsehood be spoken in this circle. The magic surged outward, settling over both of us like a blanket. Marcus's face went pale. He knew what this meant, neither of us could lie now. Tell them, I demanded. Tell them why you really married me. Marcus struggled against the compulsion, but the magic was too strong. My father's will required me to take a Luna to inherit the alpha position. You were convenient. Powerful enough to be respected, but weak enough to control. Shocked whispers rippled through the crowd. And tell them about the territory expansion they're so proud of. Where did those new lands really come from? I made deals, Marcus ground out, fighting every word. Sold pack secrets to rival alphas. Traded information about our defenses, our patrol routes. Used the gold to buy territory rights and make myself look successful. You betrayed the pack's safety for personal gain, I said coldly. What about the missing resources? The pack members struggling while you live in luxury? I've been hoarding wealth, he admitted, the words seemingly ripped from him against his will. Taking more than my share of hunt spoils, redirecting pack funds to my personal accounts. The pack has been suffering while I've grown rich. The crowd's murmurs were growing louder, angrier. I could see pack members' faces changing from confusion to rage as they realized how thoroughly their alpha had betrayed them. And Vivian, I turned to where she stood outside the circle, her face ashen. Tell them about your pregnancy. It was a lie. The words burst from Vivian before she could stop them. The truth compulsion was affecting her too, standing so close to the circle. I was never pregnant. I made it up to give Marcus an excuse to reject you. You're not even fertile, are you? I pressed. No. I'm barren, just like, she clapped her hand over her mouth, but it was too late. Just like you accused me of being, I finished. You projected your own failure onto me to hide the truth. And Marcus knew. He knew and didn't care, because you were helping him get rid of me. The pack's fury was palpable now. These weren't just crimes against me, Marcus had betrayed every member of his pack, had sold their safety and stolen their resources while pretending to be a strong leader. Strength against cruelty. Enough talk, Marcus snarled, and shifted into his wolf form. He was large and powerful, his black fur rippling with muscle. In the past, I would have been terrified. Now, I smiled. I shifted, and my wolf emerged in a blaze of silver light. She was magnificent, larger than Marcus, her fur shimmering like moonlight on snow, her eyes blazing with ancient power. This wasn't the silent, broken wolf from 6 months ago. This was a Luna queen in her full strength. Marcus lunged first, all fury and no strategy. I dodged easily, my training with Kale making his movements seem clumsy and predictable. He snapped at me, trying to use his size advantage, but I was faster, more agile. 6 months ago, you cast out a gentle Luna who believed in healing and compassion, I said, my voice clear even in wolf form, another gift of Luna magic. But you didn't just break that woman. You forged her into something far more dangerous. I attacked, not with rage but with precision. Every move Kale had taught me, every strategy Elena had drilled into me, every ounce of strength I'd built in the mountains, I used it all. My claws raked across Marcus's shoulder. My teeth found purchase in his leg. Silver light blazed with each strike, the Luna magic burning him wherever I touched. He was strong, but I was stronger. He was trained, but I'd been trained by one of the greatest alphas in history. Most importantly, he was fighting to keep power he'd stolen. I was fighting for justice. The battle was brutal but decisive. Within minutes, I had Marcus pinned, my jaws around his throat, his blood staining my silver fur. He went still beneath me, recognizing defeat. I shifted back to human form, keeping my hand on his throat, my Luna magic ready to end him if needed. He shifted too, gasping for air, his eyes finally showing real fear. I could kill you, I said quietly, so only he could hear. The goddess knows you deserve it. But I'm not you, Marcus. I don't rule through fear.